Welcome back, everybody. I'm Edwin.
And I'm Joseph.
And this is
Edwin and Joseph Talks. So recently, I seen an article about basically these ants that turn into cannibals. There's about 1 million of them trapped in this bunker. It's an old... I don't know if it's had to do with nuclear, so it was like a nuclear bunker.
Okay.
Now, I told you the story, but I'm going to tell the audience the story. Basically, what had happened was there was this old bunker. I don't know if it was military, but it was for some type of nuclear storage. And they made a colony up top in the ventilation ducts. Now, if anybody knows about ants, or if you don't, there's a queen, and the colony is made around that queen.
Yeah, kind of like the bees.
Mm-hmm. So what happened was there was a break in a pipe, and ants started dropping down. So they don't know how many ants dropped down throughout the years, but basically what happened was for these ants to survive that were on the bottom, when one would drop down, they would kill it and eat it. Or when they're multiples, because they found about 1 million ants.
Yeah.
They studied this for a while. And one of the things on the study, when I was reading this, I was like, well, what would happen if they go back to the rest of the ants? They took a board and made it to where they were able to get back up to where the queen was, and the ants started behaving perfectly normal. They didn't eat the other ants. They just went back like it never even happened.
They didn't continue like the cannibalistic thing.
Yeah. So we were talking, how would this affect humans? Would humans act the same way?
Well, and I was telling you about a story. Now, I don't remember if it was like a Swedish or Polish, but it was like a soccer team. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people have heard the story. I think they made a movie on it too, where their plane ended up crashing out in the mountains, and it was like middle of winter, so it's snowing, it's cold. And they were up there for a good amount of time, and people started dying off because of the weather and, injuries and stuff. And, I mean, you got to think it's a group of people. It's been weeks, months since they, had any good resource of food or whatever. So when people started dying out, they started eating the bodies. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, yeah, I think people are capable of it. I mean, we know there's been recorded, stories of cannibalisms, and, even some of the most famous serial killers had like the cannibalistic tendencies and stuff. There's that aspect of it, but then with people too, I think when it comes to survival mode, which was kind of the same thing with the ants, because they fell out of the colony, they weren't around the queen, and they're kind of, they're almost controlled that way. Mm-hmm. So I think for them that was like a survival thing, which it's been documented that humans have done the same thing in the past.
The one thing I thought of before we started, was the whole island approach. I was like, what if you had a bunch of people and they got stranded on this island? For some reason, there was like a new person that came every now and then. And, we were talking about that, and I said, do you think, would they take that new person out to eat that person? Or would, those bonds that they already made with each other prevail? And you had said that you think they would take that person out.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a situation like that, like if it was a group of friends that got stranded and it's been a while, and they've been living on like whatever fruit trees they can get off of or whatever, and a new body comes along and it's like the best resource they have for like an actual food, I can see them taking out the new person before they would turn on each other that way. Just, I guess, I don't know, like you said, like maybe the whole bond thing, or just out of, knowing the other people and this one being a stranger, I think the new person would.
Another thing, we can't really know on this part because we're not doctors or psychiatrists. If you were to take those people and put them back in society, I'm sure that they would have some sort of like a PTSD or something from it, but Do you think they would like the ants just go on functioning
Like go
normal?
back to normal and not
Yeah.
eating people? I don't know. See, that's usually with the cases, like I know the ants kind of went back, snapped out of it, like whatever. But usually with the when the case involves like people, it's a little different, and a lot of them get like used to it,
Mm-hmm.
and they find like that's where you get somebody who would like kill somebody else in private and just to consume their body. But like with people, I think it's a little bit different because our minds are like wired differently. So I think that would have a huge effect on somebody, and I don't think they would function like as normal.
Yeah. With that, we're going to close this one out. We'd like to hear what you guys think. Ants.
Cannibalism.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.